Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Welcome to my show. As we're talking right now, it's a very scary time for the country as a whole. Business owners of all shapes and sizes are worried, frankly. What are they going to do? How do they adjust? And bringing some expert advice on that, Mark Fenner, he's a scaling up coach. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, we were talking on the phone this morning on the way in. This is a scary time. What are you telling your clients?
Well, it is scary. I mean, what we've got to do is we've got to be educated, right? So we've got to pay attention. We've got to know the facts. We've got to put the facts into the right perspective. You know, as leaders, when there's uncertainty, people are looking for leadership. And so we've got to help put them into perspective. And then we've got to help bring the right meaning. What are we going to do? Is this the beginning or is this the end? I mean, is this an area of big opportunity for us or is it not? And as a leader of a thriving organization or a once thriving organization, my clients are looking for ways to seek for opportunity, take advantage of unique ways to serve their customers. And so they've got to keep their team focused on that, keep them away from fear.
Yes, and I think just as a nation, when we've got troubles, we look to the president for leadership, and you want a strong president. People are looking to their CEO. Hey, boss, what are we going to do?
You know, people are looking to their CEO. They're looking to their peers. They're looking, you know, in any social network, any group of people to get together. If it's a softball league, there's somebody on that team that kind of steps up that everybody looks to. And there's a dearth of leadership in our society right now anyway. And in times of stress and in times of uncertainty, we're looking for that hope and that inspiration and the calmness that a great leader can bring. And so I'm just really encouraging my clients to go back to what are the things that we can control. And let's keep you and your teams focused on those. Let's trust that things are going to work out in the end. Mm-hmm. You know, let's just have faith. And then let's do everything in our power not to be distracted by the things that are out of our control. And this, I've been preaching this for years, and this, I tell you, this is an epic case study in that because there's a lot of things out of our control that are really trying to grip our attention.
Absolutely. Well, I've been so impressed with you, Mark. I had the pleasure of attending one of your workshops recently, and you are such a loving coach. I loved the humor, the education, the interaction. So we put together a little video, and we're going to roll that tape right now.
We've got a bunch of clients here that are interested in scaling up their businesses. So these are CEOs and members of their leadership teams that recognize the importance of being an organization that grows and want to create great cultures and want to invest in their people, and they're using our model to help them do that.
I think that if given the opportunity to work with Mark, any organization should do that because he really is very personable and an easy person to work with.
He is very engaging. He appeals to a lot of different personalities. You know, no matter where you stand in an organization, whether you're the CEO to, you know, middle management level, he has an uncanny ability to reach out and connect.
I think having a coach like Mark would be ideal to growing your business. One of the things that I learned as I was going through growing our business is I truly didn't accelerate until I hired a coach.
These workshops really allows you to really create an opportunity in your organization, bringing your team members, your colleagues, so that you all learn together. And not only learn together, but have handouts and tools that you go back and apply. And these workshops actually you leave with some of the strategies already done, which really motivates you to continue to build upon that. and see results.
I really feel like the one-page strategic plan is going to help simplify our strategic plan in a way that we can convey it to the public, a way that we can convey it to our leadership and throughout our organizations.
You know, everything in nature is either growing or it's dying. And the same thing is true of a business. And when a business stagnates, the fun goes out of it. And when the fun goes out at the top, it permeates the organization. So what we're doing is bringing life back into the organization, giving people a sense of purpose and giving them something exciting to come to work for.
Wow. I was blown away. I was only able to attend for half a day, and I got so much value. I mean, I was just scribbling notes. One of the things that I think is fascinating is when you're coming into a company for the first time, the owner of the company kind of feels vulnerable. It's I'm trusting Mark. You know, I trust his wisdom, but I'm also having to admit flaws. And I was really impressed with the way you were able to coach in front of an audience like that, and really come across as sympathetic and not judgmental.
Yeah, well, leadership is hard, you know, and you know, there's a lot of really smart, brilliant people out there, and getting people to buy into your ideas and then getting them to take action, get everybody aligned so that we're looking at things through the same lens, so that we're moving the company in the same direction is challenging. And so I come alongside and I help get their team members bought in. I help overcome the objections to growth or objections to change and get people all moving in the same direction.
It's to me, it's interesting how a company can get into a funk, right? They can just, they were 20 people, and then now they're 50 people, now they're 100 people. But every time you grow, you have to change, don't you?
That's right. I think it was the great Marshall Goldsmith who said, "What got you here is not necessarily going to get you there." And you run into different stages where a company it stagnates, and somebody smarter than me called it the valleys of death. And you've got to grow through those valleys of death. And it really gets rooted back into a growth mindset. And there's risk at every stage along the way. And sometimes you need to make a key hire, you know, and boy, I've never hired somebody at that kind of salary range before. I don't know. Can we do it? Can we get the sales to make up for it? And if that fear paralyzes you, then you don't move forward. Sometimes it's I need to invest in a better financial system. I need to invest in better processes, or I need to expand locations. And each stage has some risk, and that's what makes entrepreneurs is they step into that risk. And part of what I help them do is just understand what they need to do, get committed to the reasons behind it, and then follow through. So in a lot of ways, I become an accountability partner to my CEOs to help them follow through on the commitments that they made when they were resourceful.
And to me, your coaching is more timely now than ever before, because if a leader is stuck doing what they did even a couple of weeks ago, they could find themselves out of business. They need to adjust to the new reality.
Well, you know, I work with my clients to put a strategic plan in place, and that strategic plan is anchored in a long-term goal, and we call it a big, hairy, audacious goal, and it's 10 or 15 years out. And then we do a 3-year, and then we do a 1-year, and then we do a quarterly. The only thing that really has any certainty to it is the big, hairy goal, because it's some big goal that's out there at some point in the future, and it's what are we going to do in the next 90 days. And what we're learning through this coronavirus is that plans can change, and they can change quickly. So we implement a process of running 90-day races. And I tell you, I got clients in the middle of 90-day races right now, and in the middle of the race, they're pivoting. And when we do our next level of planning, trust me, the world is going to look very different. But the one thing that we're committed on is getting to the organization that's capable of reaching that BHAG. And that has to really do with our culture and our values and how we as an organization grow and evolve to be the kind of company that can withstand what we're going through right now with this coronavirus.
And this is not the time for the leader of the company to crawl into a ball in the fetal position and cry on the floor.
No.
This is the time for leaders to step up.
Yeah. Times of challenge don't make a leader, they reveal a leader. And so now's the time. Your people are looking to you, and you need to look to yourself, and you need to keep moving forward. You know, we're a boating family, and my kids have boated a lot, and I live in Texas, as you know, and we can have storms that can whip up like that. And when there's a storm, I've always taught my kids, keep the boat moving into the waves. What'll kill you is pulling back the throttle, hunkering down, and then the waves hit you sideways, and that's when bad things happen. Same thing in this economic environment. We must keep moving forward. It may be the wrong thing, it may be the right thing, but keep moving forward. Keep investing in yourself, keep investing in your company, make decisions day to day on what can I do today to move my company forward, and take action on it. And just keep taking action. Don't stop.
So powerful. We're going to put your website up so people can get in touch with you. It's scalingupdfw.com. Mark Fenner is his name. He's amazing, very kind coach. Thank you for blessing us with your presence today and your words of wisdom.
Thanks for having me, Jeff. Appreciate it.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.